Midet, you want to say it or should I say it?
It's time! It's
Finally!
time to go!
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Futbol Kaki. I'm your host Elder and I'm joined by my fellow Kaki bro, Midet. How are you doing, bro?
We had better days. I think we are both a bit irritated by the technical issues that we've been having. I think mostly because my laptop is just is the end of the cycle already lah. We've got to get a new laptop already lah.
It is what it is because now everything already changed already. I think I've been using my PC for about almost 2 years already, close to 2. So it's been okay. It's much better than using my laptop. I tried using my laptop to do like our editing. Right? I was like, oh my gosh, it's such a headache.
Yeah, if your computer doesn't have the proper like memory RAM or processing speed to go and make editing or even just record, right? It's just wasting your time. And the process is so much easier.
It's true, but I mean, everything all runs now almost everywhere there's a PC shop, but even Suntec or PC shops Aftershock is not there. But I think for the two of us, right, other than the eventful incident that happened regarding technical difficulties, right, we are both on the different side of the spectrum in terms of the MLB World Series.
Yeah. I must say I'm a bit of a bandwagon MLB fan because I'm not really that huge of a baseball fan until I saw when Otani then Japan played US in the World Series, that final, the country final, and I can't remember what's it called, the tournament.
The baseball classic.
Yeah, baseball classic. Then after that, from that moment, I was like, oh, Otani is my guy, yeah. But I think Otani's like everybody's guy lah. He's like the LeBron of basketball. Or baseball lah. Everyone loves him. Yeah.
That's true. I wish he was a Yankee though, but so far the two games game one had a very mad ending, right? And I don't know, like, I was relatively upset lah, but what do you think of the ending of game one, the Freeman Grand Slam?
I think that was one of the craziest baseball games I've ever witnessed. And I think, and I'm not like that big of a baseball fan, right? But I think even if you're a huge baseball fan and you've seen the history of all of the baseball things, right? There's nothing that gets close to this sort of like, But I think it's also like quite insane that the build up to that, it was just like one more out, then the game is over. Do you know what I
mean? Correct. I totally understand that. It's interesting because like when you really look at it, it was one game, then it was bases loaded, right? Yankees had opportunity to do the exact same thing in game 2, but then they left the bases stranded. Right. So in the end, and the worst part was that in game 2, right, is I think the Dodgers didn't really like score with just a hit. All 4 runs were from home runs.
Yeah, correct. All. And they were just like clean, nice home runs. And it was in a row, right? Like consecutive. Yeah, very nice.
There was one that was, I think, back to back. I can't remember which one. The Teoscar Hernandez one and something else was back to back.
Eichmann, I think. Eichmann.
I have the thing, right? Like we were doing the disappointed episode of Copy Bros, right? Why am I disappointed with all my sports teams this year?
Yeah. But at least the good thing is that they are in the final lah. Whereas Man United is not even like not even in the top half of the
Man United is bad. The Cowboys lost again.
Yeah, it's bad. Yes.
The Yankees are 2-0 down, and the Ducks in NHL are not very good. So I will leave it at that. But because we are a football podcast and we have to talk about football today, we have a lot to cover because this weekend there were a lot of interesting and different aspects of football. One was that Manchester United are in a very unique, dire predicament where we are basically back to square one as to why Erik Tenhagout is still the manager after they have lost 2-1 to West Ham after drawing to Fenerbahce in the Europa League.
Yeah, that's rough.
And then of course you've got Arsenal versus Liverpool, the big match of the weekend that finished, of course, 2-2. There were some controversial things that happened. There was a disallowed goal. Some were very nice goals, but at the end of the day, it was 2-2, which basically, because of that, knocked Liverpool off top spot because Man City won 1-0 against Southampton. So today we have a lot to cover in terms of football, but we of course still do have our weekly segment of what's going on. So Milet, what is going on this week in the world of football?
I think for everyone, the big talking point for this week was that the biggest match was not in the EPL, but it was what is going on in La Liga. El Clasico,
Yes.
Real Madrid versus FC Barcelona. I think the past few seasons, the hype for the game was not as big because of the fact that there was not as many storylines as involved as
Yep.
compared to this season's one. I think that the idea that this is Kylian's first El Clasico that matters.
Yep.
The idea that Real Madrid have like Vinicius, Bellingham, all these that are going to probably be up for the Ballon d'Or nominations. And then on the opposing end, Barcelona with probably the best young player in the world at the moment with Lamau.
Yep.
So I think the juiciness of the storyline was there for this match, and then I guess that's why the build up was so big. But
Yep.
I was completely shocked by how Barcelona just railroaded Real Madrid. Were you shocked as well?
Absolutely. Because I was thinking like, okay, in terms of overall capacity and when you look at it, right, Real Madrid definitely have a much better or complete squad compared to Barcelona, who is still developing their squad in terms of that. But Barcelona do have Hansi Flick, which is a very, very important key factor. Because other than the 4-0, right, how do you get caught offside 12 times?
Yeah, their offside trap was amazing. And Mbappe like just get offside so many times. I was like, bruh, are you Darwin Nunes right now?
Yeah, dude. That's the funny part. Like everybody, I think like even like YouTubers, they're all commenting. They're like, I think A9 because he said like, you're Kylian Mbappe. You are known as probably the fastest player in the world. Why are you offside?
Yeah, I don't get it either, man. Yeah, I just think that the fact they really played the timing of the offside trap very, very well. So I think it
Yeah.
really got Mbappe frustrated, and there was an eagerness for him to want to score. I think because he's
Yep.
like, I want to put my stamp on because he's never really been in like involved in the high level club level sort of match. I mean, like
Yep.
League One doesn't have this sort of caliber of games. So it was very brilliantly done by this Hansi Flick. But I gotta say, it could have easily been like 6 or 7-0. If not for the fact that Lewandowski like missed don't know how many sitters like right in front of goal. I was like, bro, I can't believe he's missing so many. He hit the post, then he just like missed a wide open shot and stuff like that lah. But in the end, Barcelona came out on top 4-0, and I think that the storyline was fair. The scoreline was fair lah. Yeah.
Yep.
You feel the same as well?
Okay, honestly lah, if you get offside 8 times in one half, right, you shouldn't win. It
Yeah, I
means
should not win.
what is very obvious that what you're doing is not working. So I don't know why they kept repeating, right? And it was Mbappe keep continuously getting offside. So it was more or less like spin cycle. Like no difference in terms of like what's going on, what's happening lah. So Barcelona, right? This is their 10th win of the season. They've only played 11 games.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's very, very scary.
Right.
And the one game that they lost was like because they got counter attacked a few times.
Yeah. It's scary, dude. Like they're 6 points ahead of Real Madrid. Lost one game, right? Their goal difference is 27.
It's really good. Yeah. I just think that they made the right choice to replace Xavi with the Hansi Flick lah. And then,
right.
I mean at the time we were a bit like what is Barcelona doing, like a bit of a joke club, but then yeah, you can't fault the decision. So far so good lah. Yeah.
No, it's also because Hansi is a disciplinarian.
Is he though? I feel he's more of a player's coach. Yeah.
Maybe lah. But in comparison to Xavi, also because he was in charge of a very good Bayern team. After that, it's just like Bayern kind of derail after that. So I think overall, it's a very good strategy because 30 points in 11 games, 37 goals scored, 10 goals conceded. That's mad.
Yeah, and I also think like one key factor in the success so far, I think we did not expect Rafinha to be this consistent and this good. Yeah. Honestly, especially that Champions League game against Bayern Munich, he turned into prime Ronaldinho, like really, I was like, wow, this guy, he very deserving to be the current captain now that I think Ter Stegen is injured, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so.
But was it not De Jong that was captain that day?
Yeah, I think De Jong was captain that day. But I remember for the Bayern game, Rafinha was the captain.
Okay, but I mean, it's the type of situation where it's like bank on yourself, then reap the rewards, ma. Because Rafinha took a chance.
Yeah, correct.
So he left Leeds, then he went to Barcelona. So it's the kind of situation where it's bank on yourself. So that's interesting what's going on because El Clasico is El Clasico is a match that everybody looks forward to, irregardless of whether you are in England or you like Serie A or whichever, right? The moment you hear Real Madrid, Barcelona is like high importance. But then again, we are predominantly talking about EPL football, so let's move on to the main part of the show, whereby we have to talk about something very important. At West Ham's home ground, West Ham beat Manchester United 2-1. I would say, right, like, I think let's just sum it up in these words, right? Did you think it was two mid-table teams playing against one another?
Yes and no. I think there was a part of it in the first half. Man United were quite unfortunate because they could have been easily like 3 or 4 goals up. I don't know, do you feel the same also? And I don't know whether is that down to the lack of quality in finishing, like Garnacho really just maybe too young, however. I do think that Man United, they were a bit unfortunate in the game. But it just somehow works like this, lah. Like when the situation is not really doing well, like it's just easy to shit upon. And then I saw this Mark Goldbridge, right? His live stream, he was like, "Oh my god!" At the end of this game, right? I'm sure all the West Ham fans will be singing and rejoicing. And this was like the 30th minute mark already, because you can tell it's like how many things are just going against Manchester United at the moment, lah. The moment the Dano missed that goal, right? He was like, we're not winning the game. We're definitely not winning the game.
No, wait, that miss is like absolute like disgraceful.
It's disgraceful. For a professional Premier League player, right? It's like an inexcusable miss. In Singapore, right? We have the saying like my grandmother can do whatever, right? Honestly, if a grandmother just hit her knee, right, the ball will fly in the net. There was something like
the goal was wide open. Like how on earth do you miss that? And Garnacho, okay, he had bad finishing, but Diogo Dalot is just, and he is just like, oh. And the worst part is that he was responsible for the goal. Like,
yes, he was responsible for the first goal. Yeah, correct.
He was responsible for the first goal. Garnacho also was responsible for giving the ball away, right? But if you were to look at the West Ham context, all the way until about the 60-something minute, right, it was predominantly Manchester United, that first half. Then when you go into the second half, right, West Ham started to get into the game. It became a bit more like that United old problem where they will get indecisive, or they will get like, they'll overthink. Then they'll lose confidence, right? Then it ends up having a situation whereby Garnacho loses the ball, they get it down, Bowen crosses it, right? Danny Ings just makes it's a horrible miskick. Like, it's really a very bad miskick.
Yeah, it's a horrible miskick.
Then Somerville was there. Diogo Dalot, I don't know what he's doing, right? Like, he has this bad habit, where he will always be out of position when there's a left winger there. Like, you are right back. Your job is the left winger.
Yeah, it's a bit like Trent under Klopp, when it's like too far forward already until like every game they get targeted that area.
No, but in this situation, right, he's in the area where the centre back should be, but he's like further back. Yeah. So by the time the thing pulled already, Somerville, all he needs to do is just, I want it more. I just get there, I get the ball, then he score.
Yeah, I don't know what's Dalot doing, man.
And the worst part about this, and I feel right, is that West Ham weren't good, for majority of this game. They were horrible.
And to add more shit onto this Dalot, right? This one Bissaka played very well.
Yeah, exactly.
He played so well in the game. I was like, wow, this guy, like dribbling past everybody. like tackling here, doing a game-saving block and stuff like that. Yeah, so a bit unfortunate that first half. But then the second goal Casemiro scored, I thought it was like it should have been scored earlier, but Man U should have at least had 4 goals in the game by that time already. Yeah, it's just a bit unfortunate that it came later, but yeah.
And I don't know whether is it me, right, but I was upset when Casemiro smacked when he scored.
Yeah, it was a bit like I'll show you without smart, right? Yeah, but I'm like
bro,
I mean, like, yeah.
You play like crap. Yeah. Then you do all this nonsense, right? But the thing is that even though they score, right, by right, usually when you score equalizer, momentum swings in your favor, right? It's not. West Ham still play well. West Ham still started trying to attack and go forward, right? And then that incident with the penalty happened. Honestly, right? Do you think it was a penalty?
Touch my heart, no, it's not a penalty. I feel it's very harsh to call it a penalty. And I found out later, right, that the person that was in the booth was
Michael Oliver.
Yeah, Michael Oliver, Manchester City favourite. Yeah. You could tell, right, that the referee that was on the field, he did not want to give that call, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
it's
tell.
just because Michael Oliver said like, "Hey, I think this is a penalty." Then after that, this guy was like, "Oh, okay, Michael." Then after that, he just approved the penalty. Like, he didn't want to give it, and I think in the
Yeah.
end, it was harsh. It's very harsh to give it like that because he handballs the ball first. I'm like, yeah lah.
That's
Yeah,
why it was very funny because the commentator, they were like, okay, this is a foul. Then everybody not saying. Then after that, it became like, oh, they're looking at the handball. Then I'm like, the handball also didn't have the lid right. Then ended up being a penalty, right? Like, you know what's my honest reaction?
Mhm.
Like, this is my mental state as a Man United fan, right? Paul also hit his similar one. Was like, when I saw the thing penalty, I was like, okay, it's going to be a VAR check. Then the moment I heard Michael Oliver's the VAR referee, I just started laughing. I was like, this is confirm. This is confirm getting given one. It's like not. It's like you don't need to think. It's a penalty
yeah.
already.
Who's the proof? Michael Oliver. Ah, fuck! all the Man U fans. Yeah, of course, the 92nd minute. This is my opportunity to go and rob Manchester United. Yeah, Manchester
You
City
know,
legend Michael Oliver.
and the worst part is that the longer the review went on, the more I knew he was going to get given already.
Yeah, I also you could just tell they were dragging it on. Yeah, it was such a bad play. But the issue is that like it sort of takes away the bad performance that Man U had. That thing at the end. Yeah, it's like they were deserving of a win, and then at the same time, it's like, just when bad things happen, they really dog pile lah. So yeah lah, I don't know,
No,
I don't
and
know,
the worst part,
but I did, yeah, okay,
the worst part was that Tenhagout used this as an excuse. He did.
yeah, he did use it as an excuse. Yeah, I did see that Mark Goldbridge, right? He finally came out and said that he's okay with Ten Hag being sacked. He's like, I had enough. Like he just said that for my own mental health and the toxic culture of the Manchester United fans at the moment, it's just better if he's not around.
No,
And then we'll have
legit.
some positive vibes. Yeah.
No, I also think that for me,
14th, wow.
14 is
14.
horrible. Like I was talking to my friend today, right? I was this question, right? If it was Klopp under Liverpool or Pep at Man City and this type of situation would happen, would they get sacked?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not sure. But
okay.
Because they have a long-standing success rate there, lah. So it might be a bit different.
Okay, what about if let's say it was Maresca or Postecoglou?
Yeah, they'll confirm get sacked. Yeah.
If this was them, I looked it up. 13 games, right? In all competitions, United have won 4. You drew 5, right? You lost 4, and all of it is in the league.
Yeah, and there's a regression. Like there's a clear over the 3 years, right? They've got worse and worse and worse. So it doesn't really make sense to persist with this, I feel. I think that you just need to get rid so that it gives you more time to prepare for the next season. Yeah. It's just such a shame that it's like it's already at the start of the season, then you got all these like teething issues. But if you keep it in longer, right, it's just gonna make the situation more untenable. I would probably if I was the Manchester United owners, right, I will probably just give it to Root Law for the rest of the season. Until we go and find someone find an alternative.
Yeah, I don't think is there any point, right? Because the fact that you barely beat Brentford, right? Who are not great. You struggle to even beat West Ham.
Yeah, got
because of this,
by
West Ham
Liverpool and Spurs also. Yeah.
Yeah, and the worst part is West Ham pounds you in the table. West Ham's 13.
Yeah. West Ham, I think we objectively can say is not having a good season. Yeah. They're having a very what let alone Manchester United.
Yep. Wasted. And then the fact that Wan-Bissaka played well against Man United already at filtered. It should have been Dalot that left, not Wan-Bissaka. I think Dalot freaking overrated. But never mind, enough about Man United, right? I think we've already drawn the conclusion that Ten Hag should get sacked because we will talk about Man United later in our match of the week, which we will bring up later. But now, let's talk about the game of last week, which was Arsenal versus Liverpool. The final score was 2-2. It was a very fast-paced game. Saka scored a brilliant goal. Liverpool equalised by a set piece through Van Dijk. Arsenal take the lead through another set piece. And all of this happened in one half. Wow.
Yeah, it was high intensity first half.
High intensity first half, right? Understatement, right? But I think after that, once the second half happened, right, things kind of like slowed down.
I think that the Arsenal, right, they made a conscious effort to play more defensive. I think especially after Gabriel went off. So they had to adapt a bit and then play more defensive, which allowed Liverpool to have the ball more. And then, Arsenal's strong strength, we said before, is their defending. and there are set
Yep.
pieces and stuff like that lah. So I don't think that it was a mistake to stop attacking as much. Because then after that, it allowed Liverpool to like slowly build into the game. I think Liverpool also now they are at the point where they are experienced. They don't really panic when they are down now. So Nunes just nice
No,
lay
and
off to Salah on the break, then Salah scores. So
correct, but it was a brilliant ball. It was a brilliant ball by Trent. Perfectly for Nunes. Nunes square, then he passed it to Salah. Salah tap in, right? But I do think also technically Liverpool could have won because Diaz did the dribble at the side. Then he just couldn't pass it to the correct player who was open in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was something that was there. But yeah. But I want to ask, right? The Havertz goal. Was it rightfully disallowed? Or should it have counted? In your opinion?
Okay, I'm of two minds because I can see how it can be both sides. So just by objectively looking at it, right, I don't really feel that it was a foul. So in that way, right, I think that the play could have continued on and then it could have been a goal. But I also think that because the referee did call it as a foul earlier on, right, they still start playing. They continue playing after he called the foul. Yeah. So the issue is that technically he did call it a foul. We can complain whether the issue is that it's a like justifiable foul or whatever, but the referee did call it. So actually the play should have stopped lah. So then he played on, then after the ball went to the net, all this lah. So I would have been okay if it was a goal, to be honest. So I'm not going to be like saying like it shouldn't be a goal, but I think we just Liverpool are a bit fortunate in that situation that there was a foul earlier lah. That I think is a questionable one.
But also it was like there was air or handball because when Havertz jumped for the ball in the box, like it did kind of go off his arm, right? But the thing is, it's how do you define whether the handball's intentional or not intentional? Because you have to use your arms to jump up. It's like if they were to give something for the handball, right? It's a bit like redundant compared to what the other incidents could have been lah. But I think right for Arsenal, right, what happened is that they lost Gabriel and Timber in the same game to possible injury. And Saliba, he'll be back. But I think likelihood they have to play Calafiori and probably Ben White at the back. Which is, to be honest, is not that bad. It's not that bad a situation.
Yeah. The issue is that who's that is playing right back? Partey had to play right back also. Because Ben White has to move off from the right back to the centre back also. And then like you can tell like Liverpool the whole game they checked targeting this Partey, who I thought actually played quite well, like given the situation. But I don't know whether this will be sustainable in the long run. And then but we shall see. I think the Arsenal now they 4 games the Emirates they didn't get a win, if I'm not wrong. 4 games in a row. So not sure. A bit unfortunate, but I think a draw was a fair result 2-2.
Yeah, I would think so also because it just does justice in the fact where like Liverpool could have won. Arsenal did what they needed to do, get a point. But I also think Arsenal technically also could have won, right? But the thing now is that because of this draw, right, Man City actually reap the benefits because Liverpool are no longer top.
Yeah, correct.
Which, I mean, like, it was an interesting situation, right? So I think, like you said, like Arsenal drawing Liverpool 2-2, right, was a very, like, fair, I think it was a fair result. I think this is the most goals Liverpool conceded in a game this year, right?
Yeah, correct. It's the most goals. Yeah, 2.
That's mad, Moving on, we just do some quick things. Maybe just two other highlights of the week, right? Is that Haaland scores a goal falling down. I don't know how.
Insane goal. After scoring another crazy goal in the Champions League. Yeah, I was like, that's such a Zlatan goal, like the Topo. Yeah.
Correct. So that was one thing, and then Cole Palmer, what a performance against Newcastle! What a pass to go and find Neto from his own half. In his own third, all the way down to Nicholas Jackson, all the way down to Neto. Neto squares it for Nicholas Jackson, simple goal. I think Nicholas Jackson is coming to his own. Neto's been a good signing for Chelsea. And then after that, he scores right by taking the ball in their third, and he just runs past everybody and just smacks it into the bottom corner of the net.
He's ferocious, man. He's Cole Palmer. Yeah, I'm just very happy that he didn't play well against Liverpool.
Which brings us to our match of the week, which of course is Manchester United versus Chelsea, and Man United are going to face Cole Palmer. I don't think we have a chance. The question now is that will Ten Hag get sacked before this game?
I don't think he'll get sacked. I think they're going to ride out the wave.
Then I think Man United is going to get killed.
I also think Manchester United is going to get slapped, like completely slammed in this game.
Is definitely going to be the fifth loss of the season. If United lose, how do you justify him staying? I cannot already. Like four losses is really unjustifiable. You lose the fifth is unjustifiable already.
Yeah, I cannot. And I just don't understand, like, what is the rationale in keeping him just because the alternative is that there's no one else.
All right. Before we continue, right, just some breaking news, right? As you can see, I'm in a different change of clothes because after the recording finished, news broke out about something very important. So, Midet, you want to say it or should I say it?
It's time! It's
Finally!
time to go!
Finally! Like, just as we actually ended the recording of our actual episode and we were finished up everything, right? News broke that Manchester United manager Erik Tenhagout has officially been sacked. As you can see, I'm wearing a slightly different t-shirt at this point in time.
So am I, yeah.
Yeah, so as was me that, right? But I will say this, and Paul agreed with this, right? I never thought these words would come out of my mouth. Thank you, Michael Oliver, for awarding that penalty and giving West Ham a victory.
Yeah, to get him out, right?
Yeah, the only time I'm grateful that it was Michael Oliver gave a penalty. Other than that, I don't Michael Oliver. I still don't like you. But the relief, it's finally happened.
The funny thing is that if you think about it from a logical perspective, if Man U had beat West Ham, I think Ten Hag would still be in the job.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why they were probably just thinking this one, the backlash is too heavy already. The West Ham loss, I think that it cannot be saved. So they just had to do it. And I think the timing is it felt like the right timing, I feel. Because the consensus of the crowd, or especially the many fans, it was really leaning towards you have to get rid of him already. Yeah.
No, it's true also. And the thing is, if you looked at, let's say, Ineos, right? Jim Ratcliffe has already spoken out and said that the idea is to bring Man United back to the top.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're bringing Man United back to the top, right, and you keep a manager that is currently in a state of mediocrity where he has previously said, and he has recently said that, we have drawn 3 games, right, and we are hard to beat. That is not something that I want to hear from a Man United manager. What I want to hear is that if you win 2-0, right, you say it's not good enough. Because you know the performance is bad. Yeah, so it's like a manager that decreased the standards of the club. So when Ineos said they want to do that, right, irregardless of whether they have backlash, the fact that they said it already, they have to do something sooner or later already. Because it is literally derailing everything down. Like for you as an outsider, right, do you think it was inevitable already after yesterday?
Yeah, I did feel that he will not last the season, or even if he lasts the season, right, it's too late to sort of do anything to get back into the good graces. I feel like they might have just kept him to wait for our alternative.
Yeah.
But I do sort of commend the notion that they know it's not going to work long term already.
Yeah.
And I think that they have done their part, the management and the owners of the club. They have financially backed him. They have given him chances already. So this was the right move overall, I feel. It was the right move. Yeah. The question that I have for you actually, right, is that now that he's out, what is the alternative? What do you think is going to be the next step forward?
Honestly, right, I've got this sensing that I kind of I don't want to go back to the same route that I went with Ole, which was basically because now that it's already been said that at the fact that Ten Hag is leaving, right, Ruud van Nistelrooy will be the caretaker for the time being.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have a situation whereby he was so good at being caretaker, like Ole did, and then he ends up he gets the United job, then it's too big a burden for him. I don't want that. But the thing is that if you don't want that, there's not a lot of managers that are available. The ideal one has gone to manage England already, which is Thomas Tuchel. So now it's either you poach a manager. I don't want Gareth Southgate.
I just think that if you were to take the managers that are available in the market, right, the options are quite limited. It's you're looking at Gareth Southgate, Graham Potter, Xavi, Zidane, that sort of range . And I don't think that Zidane or Xavi will be comfortable in England. And I also don't think that it's a realistic selection. Yeah. Would you prefer that they go and poach a manager now, or would they should give Root the whole season and they find someone?
I would rather they give Root the remainder of the season while they are doing a managerial hunt. So it basically is telling Root that you may or may not be in contention, but you're only temporary. And I think for Root is okay because long term I know that he wants a job, but just that I don't also feel that like he's put in a position because he's loyal. So he does to him, Root it feels like he's taking over the person that brought him in.
Yeah,
In a
correct.
predicament. So I know I understand that feeling, right? But they should have pulled the trigger earlier because if they had pulled the trigger prior to the Spurs, after the Spurs game, right, Tuchel will be manager.
Tuchel will be.
I really confidently do think that Tuchel will be manager had they pulled the trigger earlier. So I'm just glad it's finally over, this ordeal. I just hope that there's actual improvement. There's actual improvement moving forward. But I have this question, right? Like, does this change your prediction for the Chelsea game?
Actually, I feel right. I would feel if I was a Man U fan, if Man U wins that game, right, I will feel very angry at the Man U players, no?
Yeah.
Because you feel sort of like, well, like, you're really just like have a switch on and off when you want to play properly, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It really irked me, yeah. Like that they can just sort of like, oh, we got the manager out, now we can play well. So I do think that there will be a bounce, but I also will not be surprised if they get hammered lah. So it should be interesting. Yeah. Then but I was gonna say, right, that if I had the choice of manager that I would want at Manchester United, realistically, because I don't think that they're going to be able to get a lot of the type of managers at the market, because now most of them are fixed, right?
Yep.
I think the two that are good options is Eddie Howe, because I think that Newcastle and him, they are on a not good terms. I think that Eddie Howe will eventually leave at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And then another one that I think will be quite good is the Ruben Amorim from the Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah.
Which I think you can poach off now. Yeah.
That was what I was talking about to my friend. He said that the style of football whereby you do the wingback inversion or you convert like one more slightly more defensive fullback compared to a attacking fullback, right? That would be a bit more of a sporting thing. But the problem is that with him, right, there's not a lot of wing play. It's a lot of central. So United play a lot for the wing. So I don't know whether maybe the problems that United have had, right, whereby they are too wide, would it be solved by going narrower by Ruben Amorim?
Yeah, I think that the good thing about Ruben Amorim, right, is that he's quite an innovative manager.
Yeah.
So he would, and I think also he will have the links with the Sporting to bring in certain players that will be quite good fits at Manchester United lah. Yeah. But the only issue is that he was very close to signing for Liverpool, and the reason that he didn't sign was because of money. So I feel that he's also a certain type of character where it's like he might get swayed by money. The fact that he can poach him from like Sporting halfway through the season also might say quite about his character lah.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that he was stayed. Yeah.
Which is something else lah. Like, I mean, me and Paul have thought about it, right? I would love if Mourinho came over from Fenerbahce with this current predicament, right? Because he now with a proper backing, I think he can do a lot. But seems like he said in the announcement that he would like to go to a lower league club, lower, not so powerful club in the future. So I mean, it's something else lah. But
manager might go around, right? I think Howe might go to Man U, and I think Mourinho might go to Newcastle. Just a thought lah.
Maybe lah. But I do agree with you in a sense where, like, if I was a Man U fan and I saw the players play, right, like, actually it doesn't bode well for the players if they win this weekend.
Yes, because it doesn't bode well.
Because I feel that one is that they quit on the manager is one thing, even though Ten Hag deserves to be sacked. Two, right, is that the upper management in yours will see it. Because suddenly there's like a full 180 turn, they will see it one. It's not like we're winning. This one is they'll be like. So it means that there's a lot of deadwood I need to clear now, because it basically tells me that you're not living up to the standard that we want to set.
Yeah. And I just think that for the next manager, right, it's quite sian because it's always like I have all of Ten Hag's players, then I have to go and sort them out. It's like the cycle continues again. But so hopefully they can find a manager that will be able to use what is available lah.
Yeah.
And then after that, from there, be the best outcome. So they might have to target a project manager lah. Someone like Slot, this type of manager. Yeah.
Either that or and I also do think that United are probably going to move away from like the buy big name players and shift towards the like the Fergie or the Brighton model whereby you get them young or you get them cheap. and then you develop it into like stronger players, which is what they're doing with some of the players that they're targeting lah. So, since that this has happened, right, and we already recorded our predictions, right? Do you want to change your prediction, or you still think that it's going to be 3-0? Chelsea going to win 3-0?
I still think Chelsea will win 3-1 lah. Yeah lah.
Okay.
Just because the bus driver leave doesn't mean that the inside the bus is all the delinquents will suddenly become.
Yeah, I'm just hoping, right, that Avian he picks the players that deserve to play rather than just having the same routines sit back already lah. For me, right, I want to be hopeful, but I don't think that United's going to win this game also. So I would say lah, I would say United will still lose, but I will probably give it maybe, I said 3-0, right? I'll probably maybe make it 2-0 or 2-1.
That's fair.
I will see it lah. So just to round it up, right, the predictions are that it is 2-1 from me, and then it's 3-0 from 3-1 from me there lah. All right, so that is it for this week's episode of the Futbol Kaki. After Erik Ten Hag's breaking news has officially shown that he has been sacked by Manchester United, officially with Ruud van Nistelrooy taking over for the rest of the season. Now, aside from that, we are, of course, the Chit Podcast Network, and we are the Futbol Kaki. But, of course, if you want to continue to support the network, do continue to watch our other shows, which, of course, are the Kopi Bros every Monday, where we talk about different topics and interesting ones. So, this week, in view of Deepavali, we are talking about Deepava Eats.
Indian food.
Deepa Eats, right, where we're talking about Indian food. And basically, Brendan and Amos talk about the food that they love, about Indian food, and Efri give their recommendations. And then, of course, if you like game shows, we do, of course, have the SG Draft Podcast every Friday, where we come together and draft about different topics. And, of course, if you do like the team, you can actually go and vote. Last week's topic was, of course, the duets topic. I wish I was on, but I was not due to an unforeseen circumstance. But at the end of the day, if you do catch the episode and you would like to vote for teams in the future episodes, voting, of course, begins every Friday at 12 p.m. and closes every Saturday at 11:59 a.m. So don't go and vote for your favorite teams. Of course, from me and me, that from everybody here at the Futbol Kaki, we just want to say thank you. If you have not subscribed to the Chit Chat Podcast Network, please do so. And if you have, please go and ask your friends to subscribe so that we can continue to produce more great content for you. So that is it for this week's episode. Ten Hag is sacked. I am very happy. As a Man United manager, it is time
to go
home.
Yeah.
It has officially reached a United end for Ten Hag. So with that, we just want to say thank you. Have a great week ahead. Catch the Man United Chelsea game. I don't know what to expect anymore. So we'll see you. Bye bye.
Happy Deepavali, guys. Bye.